Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 4 college basketball games for Friday, February 10th, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily $15 Bank Shop best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Friday in college basketball. First up, we go to the game between Iona and Canisius. This one's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN3. I want to start by saying this is a very tough Friday card, in my opinion, in college basketball. You know, one of the toughest ones betting-wise that I've seen in quite some time, maybe this season, at least in conference play. And, you know, there's a huge card on Saturday with over 140 games. For me, there's just no reason to go crazy for this Friday card, so I'm treading lightly. I'd suggest the same to you if you feel the same way. But, you know, in this game, we've taken Canisius quite a few times this season, especially in the underdog role, and they've been pretty good to us in most of those cases. But in this spot, I am fading our friends of the Golden Griffins. I'm going to take Iona and lay the points. You know, Canisius has lost 5 straight games. Some of those games they've covered as the underdog, but, you know, some of those games we've seen them just like last time out against Marist. They just fell flat in that game, giving up 75 points on the road. And Iona, although they had a few upset losses and some scares as well in conference play, this is still the favorite to win the conference pretty overwhelmingly, and they're playing pretty good ball as of late. They took down Quinnipiac by 6 at home. They also had wins over Mount St. Mary's and Fairfield. They beat Mount St. Mary's by 30 points. So they're playing a lot better on both ends of the court as of late. They take care of the basketball, really good perimeter defense, which is important because Canisius takes a ton of three-pointers per game. They don't make them at a great rate in terms of percentage-wise, but they still make, you know, a good amount of them per game. And Iona is ranked 11th in the country in three-point defense this season, holding opponents to 28.8% from beyond the arc. So that's important. I like the fact that Iona gets after the offensive glass, gets those offensive rebounds. We saw these two teams play already. It was a long time ago, back on December 4th. It was a 90-60 final score in favor of Iona. So they won that game by 30 points, despite being out offensive rebounded 20-7. Since then, Iona's been much sharper on the offensive glass, a little bit better on the defensive glass as well. So I think we're going to see Iona win this game. I don't think it's going to be a 30-point win, but they will do enough to cover the spread in the end. So give me Iona. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, we stay in the MAAC as Fairfield takes on Rider. This one's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be on ESPNU. Now, Fairfield's on a 3-game losing streak. Rider is on a 7-game win streak. But we saw these teams play not too long ago. It was back on January 29th. It was an overtime game, a game that was really competitive. And although Fairfield lost that game by 9 points in the end, they had 27 free throw attempts in that ball game. So they got to the free throw line a ton. They only shot 63% from the line, which is about 7.5 percentage points worse than their season average. But overall, you know, fundamentally, Fairfield played well. They forced 12 turnovers. They only turned the ball over 6 times themselves. And overall this season, they've been a team that takes care of the basketball, gets to the free throw line, is pretty aggressive on the offensive glass, and has a pretty good defense. They're 12th in the country in perimeter defense, three-point defense, holding opponents to 29.1% from 3 this season. Pretty important. You know, Rider doesn't take a ton of threes, but you know, something like that, a strong perimeter defense, only going to help you when you're playing a true road game in a conference setting. You know, Rider, like I said, a 7-game win streak. I think the value is starting to slip away from the Bronx. The value we started to see from them when they had that 3-game losing streak. They lost to Siena by 5 points on the road. Then they go play Iona. They beat them outright on the road. They go on this big win streak. The value we had with Rider at that moment, no longer there, in my opinion. We've already seen these teams play a very competitive, close game before. I say, why not again? I'm going to take the points here with Fairfield. I think it's going to be a close one. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fairfield win the game outright. Next up, we go to the Horizon League as Northern Kentucky takes on Wright State. This one, 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU. You know, it's not easy for teams to sweep a regular season series, really in any conference, as you know, we see these programs play each other usually twice per year, and they know quite a bit about each other. There's a lot of revenge spots and bounce back games for these teams in these matchups. But you know, Northern Kentucky already beat Wright State by 14 points in the first meeting this season. They swept the season series last year, and that was a really good Wright State team last year. And I think Northern Kentucky's still the better team in this matchup. They're coming off a loss to Youngstown State, and it was a double-digit loss. So because of that loss, matched with the fact that Wright State is off 2 wins, 2 double-digit blowout wins over Robert Morris and IUPUI. Because of those recent results, I like Northern Kentucky in this game. I think we're getting a ton of value with the Norths in this one. I think, you know, I think Northern Kentucky is the much better defensive team. team. And although Wright State's a really good shooting team, 52nd in the country in effective field goal percentage, the shot quality data not really in their favor. They don't get to the free throw line much. Not a very good offensive rebounding team. So I don't think they're going to be able to beat this Northern Kentucky defense consistently, even at home in this one. I'm going to take the points here with Northern Kentucky. Wouldn't be surprised to see them earn another win in this series where they've just dominated in the regular season. Next up, we go to the Atlantic 10 as Dayton takes on St. Louis. This one's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN2. Now, you know, Dayton, I think, is the better team in this match. I think these are the two of the better teams in the conference this year. And overall, I'd say it's been a down year for the A10. No team that I see that can really make a run in the NCAA tournament. But, you know, Dayton was still a team that was highly ranked going into the season for pretty good reason. And Dayton struggled in non-conference play. They had a losing streak. They had some injuries. But now they're playing pretty good basketball. They're 8-4 in the conference. They're 16-9 overall, winning games on the road and at home. And their defense is in great shape. Overall, 10th in the country in effective field goal percentage defense. They don't force a ton of turnovers, but they force a ton of tough shots. And St. Louis, you could say, is similar to that, but I do think Dayton is the better rebounding team. They get to the free throw line a lot more. They limit a lot more fouls defensively as well. Great perimeter defense, and I think overall Dayton is the better side. And we're laying a pretty reasonable number because of this. You know, St. Louis had a really hot start to conference play. They were 7-1 at one point, but now they've lost 2 of their last 3. I haven't really liked the form that they're in. I'm going to take Dayton here. I'm going to lay the points here with the Flyers. And that's it. Those are the games for Friday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.